For centuries, locusts have been seen as the ultimate enemy of farmers. Their sudden swarms could wipe out entire fields in moments, turning months of hard work into nothing but dust. Each green leaf, every budding crop, everything would vanish, leaving farmers desperate and helpless. The very name locust became a symbol of fear, hunger, and devastation. Families dependent on the harvest would face days of uncertainty, wondering whether they could survive another season. But in Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Trayor saw a different path. While most nations continued to battle locusts with poison and fire, Trayor proposed an idea that stunned the world. What if these very insects, long treated as a curse, could be transformed into a source of prosperity? His words were revolutionary, igniting hope not just within his country, but across global agricultural communities. Trayor's vision was bold yet simple. Instead of wasting resources on extermination, Burkina Faso would collect locusts and other protein-rich insects and convert them into valuable products. Modern processing plants were established, adhering to strict international standards for health, hygiene, and safety. The insects were transformed into protein powders, biscuits, energy bars, and animal feed supplements. Far from being confined to local markets, these products began reaching Europe and Asia, generating billions of dollars in revenue. The idea reshaped the nation. Thousands of jobs were created, farms were protected from destruction, and the threat of food insecurity was reduced. What was once a symbol of despair, the locust swarms, was now a tool for progress. This transformation required innovation, scientific planning, and careful monitoring of insect populations. Special insect farms were created to control breeding and growth, ensuring maximum yield without ecological disruption. Once the insects reached maturity, harvesting began. Evening hours were chosen because locusts were less active, making collection easier. Using large nets and modern machinery, millions of insects were gathered within hours and safely stored in specialized containers. Cold storage centers maintained ideal temperature and humidity, ensuring the insect's quality remained intact until they were processed. Processing plants turned these insects into protein powders, energy bars, biscuits, and animal feed. Trained professionals oversaw every stage to meet the strict standards demanded by European and Asian markets. Not a single insect was wasted. Every unit contributed to the nation's growth. This initiative transformed the mindset of the local population. Farmers no longer feared locust invasions. They saw opportunities for income. Rural markets began to thrive as women sold roasted insects in baskets, while young entrepreneurs packaged them creatively for restaurants and hotels. Even dishes made from locusts began appearing in households, spiced and roasted to perfection or cooked with vegetables and herbs. What was once destruction became part of people's diets. This cultural shift not only boosted the economy, but also sent a message to the world. Burkina Faso was pioneering a new chapter in sustainable food. President Trayor emphasized that progress comes from expanding thinking. Weaknesses can be turned into strengths, and problems can become opportunities. The initiative addressed a global challenge: food security. With the world's population growing, protein-rich food sources are crucial. By turning locusts into edible and commercial products, Burkina Faso not only ensured national food stability, but also contributed to a larger solution for global nutrition. Transforming locusts into a thriving industry was not without challenges. The biggest hurdle was controlling and managing the insects. To address this, President Trayor introduced specialized insect farms across different regions of Burkina Faso. These controlled environments allowed experts to monitor every stage of insect growth using sensors, digital technology, and precise environmental controls. When female locusts laid eggs, they were carefully maintained under optimal heat and moisture to maximize hatching rates. Nothing was left to chance. Once mature, harvesting followed a strict schedule. Modern machinery and large nets made the process efficient, while evening collection times reduced insect activity, ensuring safety and ease. After harvesting, insects were stored in cold facilities to preserve quality before processing. Processing transformed the collected insects into multiple products: protein powders, energy bars, biscuits, and animal feed. Every stage followed strict international standards to guarantee hygiene and safety. Trained professionals supervised the production line to ensure that the final products met the expectations of global markets. By converting every insect into a valuable product, Burkina Faso eliminated waste and maximized the economic impact of this initiative. This innovation sparked a broader cultural and economic transformation. Farmers now welcomed locusts instead of fearing them. Rural markets buzzed with activity as women roasted and sold insects, while young entrepreneurs marketed them to restaurants and hotels. Locusts became not just a source of food, but also a symbol of opportunity and creativity. Families experimented with unique recipes, frying them with spices or cooking them with vegetables to create new flavors. What was once a symbol of devastation had become a vehicle for progress. This initiative also addressed global challenges. The world's growing population demands sustainable, protein-rich food sources, and Burkina Faso had found a solution. By embracing locusts, the nation increased food security, reduced poverty, created thousands of jobs, and generated billions of dollars in revenue. President Trayor's vision had turned a centuries-old enemy into a source of prosperity, proving that innovation and courage could redefine the future. The story of Burkina Faso's locust revolution is more than just a business success. It is a lesson in vision, innovation, and resilience. What once represented destruction and fear has been reimagined as opportunity and hope. President Trayor's approach showed that even the most persistent problems can be transformed when approached with creativity and determination. Across rural villages, life began to change. Farmers, who once watched helplessly as locust swarms devoured their fields, now actively participated in the collection and processing of insects. Families supplemented their income by selling roasted locusts, while small businesses emerged to package and sell protein-rich snacks locally and internationally. Schools and communities began educating people on the nutritional value of insects, and gradually, a cultural shift took root. Eating insects was no longer a symbol of necessity. It became a choice, a source of pride, and even a culinary adventure. International recognition followed. Experts from around the world visited Burkina Faso to study the country's approach. They learned how scientific farming, digital monitoring, and controlled harvesting had created a sustainable ecosystem, benefiting both the environment and the economy. The project inspired other nations to reconsider how they view pests and overlooked resources. Most importantly, the initiative strengthened food security. With the world's population growing rapidly, protein sources like locusts are essential to combat hunger. Burkina Faso not only secured its own food supply, but also positioned itself as a global leader in edible insect products. This transformation, turning centuries of fear into a billion-dollar opportunity, demonstrates the power of innovative thinking and courageous leadership. President Trayor's message resonates far beyond the borders of his country. Challenges are not always obstacles. They can be gateways to growth. By embracing change, investing in science, and thinking differently, Burkina Faso turned a disaster into prosperity. The locusts, once dreaded and despised, now symbolize progress, resilience, and hope, a living reminder that even the smallest creatures can spark monumental change.